back into Talking Pittsburgh. Joined today from Hy-Vee, our registered dietitian. Aryn is back, and we are talking about diabetes. Oh yeah, and in all seriousness, I may or may not have a type of diabetes, so it is definitely a serious topic to discuss. But I suspect, Aryn, that you get a lot of questions regarding people who are pre-diabetic, diabetic, and really diabetic. So you know. It's a lot to take in, but how are you doing? I'm just rambling here.
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on again today.
Thank you. So we had done a couple months ago, we had ran a test, and we're going to talk about that coming up here. But A1C, have you heard the word? I like this. Tell us a little bit about this month and why we're bringing awareness to diabetes.
Yes. This month is actually National Diabetes Month and National Diabetes Awareness Month specifically. And with Hy-Vee across all of our 8 states that we are in, we are testing over about, over 1,000 or 10,000 doing tests for A1C. So hemoglobin A1C, it is a blood test that individuals living with diabetes can use to manage their blood glucose levels. And it provides information on that individual's average level of blood glucose over the last 2 to 3 months. And one convenient benefit of this test is that you do not need to fast prior to it. And if you remember, we did a fasting test a few months back for your biometric screening.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. No, it was good. It's great information to have, and people are like, okay, I've heard of A1C, yeah, and okay, for somebody who's outside of this world of diabetes and hasn't ever been exposed to it, who should actually get screened for an A1C?
Yeah, actually, all adults should consider having an A1C test periodically, as recommended by their healthcare professional, their physician, because this can also help to identify prediabetes while being used as a tool for physicians to diagnose diabetes and monitor the effectiveness of your diabetes treatment over time. So whether you have diabetes in your family history or not, it's always good to just get this tested to see where you are and see where you're sitting, so that you can have appropriate care from your physician.
Yeah, this could be an eye opener. You could take this test and find out, like, oh, I have a problem and I didn't even know it. You may not even have a family history and you not even know it. So it can affect just about anybody out there. And it doesn't just have to be related to being overweight. It could be in your family genetics, and you're just stuck with it, unfortunately.
Right. And especially with like an A1C, it's not a diagnosis test. However, it is used by physicians as a test, one of the tests to diagnose diabetes. But this is even just a good snapshot to say, hey, over the last 2 to 3 months, blood sugar may not have been as controlled as you would have hoped your body's doing it. So what changes can we make in your diet and your routine to improve that? And then hopefully in the next 6 months, when you get a test again, I'd say every 6 months is a good marker. Especially with those living with diabetes or that maybe have a higher value that they're not not expecting. And hopefully in that next screening, we see changes.
Yeah, usually I'm just like, please be under 7, please be under 7, please be under, fingers crossed there. But average, what is the average, I guess, for folks who don't know, what's the number scale there?
Yep. So and I do have my little cheat sheet, because it's always good to have a cheat sheet. So for a normal range for A1C, we want it below a 5.7%. For pre-diabetes, that's the range between 5.7 to 6.4. And then for diabetes, it's 6.5 or higher.
Yep. So you try to keep that down. And, that's a whole nother segment that we can get into. But we want to talk about the screening that you have at Hy-Vee. Again, I had done the screening, if you will, a while back, and we can show some of that.
Just do a little finger prick. So very simple. In the doctor's office, they might do one from the vein. We're just gonna do a nice little finger prick. So it's very short and sweet. And then I use a little cute, what is this, a cartridge?
A cute cartridge, you heard it here.
Cartridge. And I put the blood right in there. I put it in the machine and we let the machine do its magic. And then it spits out the numbers in about 5 to 10 minutes. So it's really quick. You get the results right away and then we review them.
All right, well, let's go through the fun part first, and I will do whatever I need. So,
and a little hand massage goes with it too.
Push the blood, push it up to the finger, I assume, right?
Yes, and warms up your hand too. So if you have cold hands, if you're not hydrated, your blood might flow a little bit slower. So just be patient with me or anyone doing a blood testing.
I was gonna say, I'll put my hand down here. Yeah, so I was always afraid of needles growing up, but this isn't too bad, actually. I was saying that it doesn't hurt too much, but Ariana, who's running the camera, she might pass out from that, so.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Not bad at all. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy, that's what we like to hear. I'm gonna use a little plunger, kind of push the blood into the cartridge. All right, and then we're gonna let the machine do its magic.
So people might be a little bit afraid of the screening. You saw some of it from when I did it. It actually doesn't hurt too much. It's a little bit it is a little prick, but you're taking a little bit of sample of blood and you're getting some great information that you can use. And again, maybe it's going to be you got to set up that appointment with the doctor, or maybe you're just learning. But how can people get involved this season with getting it checked?
Yeah, so this month in November, we are offering free A1C screening, completely free, no strings attached, completed by me in the Madison area, and all through the month at all 3 locations. So in Fitchburg, in Madison by Whitney Way on the west side, and on the east side on East Washington. We've had generous donations from some of our different vendors throughout the store. That's It Bar, Dexcom Medical, Catalina Crunch, Blue Diamond Almond Flour. And yeah, this is a 15-minute test. You get the results right away, about 5 minutes in, and then we review your results and talk about ways that our Hy-Vee services can help you, or we can set up a plan moving forward too.
Yeah, and that, like I said, it's an awareness thing here that's so important. And another local group that's making awareness this year and has partnered up with you is the Lions Club. The local Lions Club here is helping out with trying to make awareness. And they do a great campaign. We were kind of talking a little bit about it, but how are they helping you out this year?
Yeah, so along with our corporate sponsors, I have partnered up with the local Lions Clubs in Madison to increase access to diabetes screening tests. So, and just awareness. So the generous donation had come from Wisconsin Lions District 27D-1. And this is providing us at Hy-Vee to offer more screenings for people with diabetes or may not know that they have diabetes in the community. If someone screens positive, we're going to have someone from the Lions Club here to talk about their services and what else is available through the local Lions community. So it's really awesome. Diabetes awareness is one of the Lions' 5 global causes and aims to spread awareness, decrease the prevalence, and improve the lives of those living with diabetes. And they have access to learning materials that again will be shared during the screenings as well. And if you're lucky and you're in the area, the Lions will be around Hy-Vee stores this month to help sign people up for screenings and just to talk about the service as well.
If they are diagnosed with diabetes, we'll just keep the types out of it for a second here, but overall, what would be some of the information you would share maybe at a first type of meeting if I came to you and said, yeah, I just was diagnosed with type 2, where do I go from here?
Right, right. And that just comes down to individual, right? So everyone's going to be a little different in our conversation. But the first thing I might say is, okay, if you haven't seen a doctor, you need to see a doctor.
Sure.
And then as far as nutrition goes, I like to start with a nutrition store tour. So talking about some new products that may be a new or unfamiliar to a person living with diabetes or just recently diagnosed, that could be a good alternative or swap in their daily routine. So we have an online nutrition store tour that's on demand. It's virtual. It's a basically 60-minute video with the dietitian walking you through virtual aisles. Or if someone would like, I can do an in-person store tour, and that's where we walk the aisles together.
Yeah, and it's not easy. That's a lot to if you're diagnosed or if you're trying to work on it, it is definitely not easy. I can tell from experience that it's a daily battle, but you've got some great resources, Aryn, and thanks for sharing a little bit about this. And if people want to again get signed up for this through the month of November of 2022, if you're watching this, how can they do so?
Yes, you can go on Hy-Vee.com/health and sign up on there for A1C screening, or give me a call at one of the Hy-Vee stores. You can call the Whitney Way location or Fitchburg or Eastside, and they can either give you my phone number or connect you with me. So swing on by the store too. That's always an option as well.
All right, Aryn, thank you so much for the great information. Appreciate it. Good luck with the testing, and we'll check back in with you next month.
Yeah, thank you so much.